darken down, to decrease the amount of light in a particular space. Synonym for darken down, dim, shade, diminish, decrease, tint, subdue. As the sun set, the sky began to darken down, signaling the approach of nightfall. The theater darkened down as the performance began. The theater technician darkened down the stage lights to create a more dramatic effect for the performance. Cut off the light. To stop the flow of light to a particular area. Synonym for cut off the light. Turn off the light, switch off the light, deprive of light, shut off the light, power down the light, quench the light. She cut off the light in the living room before going to bed, plunging the house into darkness. The power outage cut off the light to the entire neighborhood, leaving residents scrambling for flashlights and candles. Closing the curtains will cut off the light from outside. Spotlight on. To focus attention or illumination on a specific person or thing. Synonym for spotlight on. Highlight, focus on, showcase, feature, illuminate, highlight. The Linguistics Conference spotlighted on the impact of technology on language evolution. During the presentation, the professor spotlighted on the significance of syntax in understanding language acquisition. The documentary put a spotlight on the environmental impact of deforestation, raising awareness about the urgent need for conservation efforts. Breakdown. To analyze the components of a language structure or linguistic concept. Synonym for breakdown. Analyze, dissect, deconstruct, examine, study, parse. To understand semantics fully, it's essential to break down the meanings of individual words and their combinations. Linguists often break down complex grammatical structures to understand their underlying mechanisms. Linguists often break down sentences to study their grammatical elements. Bring up. To introduce a topic or point during a linguistic discussion. Synonym for bring up. Raise, introduce, mention, broach, refer to present. The professor brought up an interesting aspect of historical linguistics. In the seminar, the speaker brought up the debate surrounding prescriptive versus descriptive linguistics. Students are encouraged to bring up any questions or concerns they have about phonology during the tutorial. Talk over. To discuss or converse about linguistic theories or ideas. Synonym for talk over. Discuss, debate, deliberate, converse about, exchange views on, dialogue about. The research team frequently talked over different hypotheses to explain the observed language change. The scholars gathered to talk over the implications of the new linguistic research. Scholars often talk over theoretical frameworks to explore their applicability in various linguistic contexts. Pick up. To acquire a new language or linguistic skill. Synonym for pick up. Learn, acquire, grasp, absorb, master, gain. Immersion programs can help individuals pick up a second language quickly. Children often pick up regional accents from their peers and community. Immersion programs are excellent for helping individuals pick up new languages quickly. Put into words. To express or articulate thoughts or concepts in a linguistic form. Synonym for. Put into words. Express, articulate, verbalize, phrase, convey, communicate. It can be challenging to put into words the complexities of sociolinguistic phenomena. It's challenging to put into words the complexity of certain linguistic phenomena. The linguist struggled to put into words the nuances of the indigenous language's grammar. Bring in. To incorporate or introduce linguistic elements into a discussion or text. Synonym for. Bring in. Introduce, incorporate, include, add, bring forth, import. When discussing language contact, it's crucial to bring in historical and sociolinguistic perspectives. The professor likes to bring in real-life examples to illustrate linguistic concepts discussed in class. The author decided to bring in examples from various dialects to enrich the narrative. Rule out. To exclude or eliminate linguistic possibilities in a given context. Synonym for. Rule out. Exclude, eliminate, dismiss, discard, reject, disqualify. In forensic linguistics, analysts often rule out potential suspects based on language usage patterns. Linguists can sometimes rule out certain syntactic structures as ungrammatical in a particular dialect. Linguists may rule out certain syntactic structures as non-existent in a language. Play around with. To experiment with language elements or linguistic structures. Synonym for. Play around with. Experiment with, toy with, tinker with, dabble in, explore, mess around with. During language acquisition, children naturally play around with different phonological patterns as they learn to speak. Linguists often play around with phonetic variations to understand speech patterns. Creative writers often play around with linguistic conventions to create innovative narrative styles. Look into. To investigate or explore linguistic phenomena in depth. Synonym for. Look into. Investigate, examine, probe, explore, research, scrutinize. The research team plans to look into the influence of social media on language change. Researchers are looking into the effects of bilingualism on cognitive development. Linguists often look into historical texts to trace the evolution of grammatical structures. Sort out. To organize or categorize linguistic data or information. Synonym for. Sort out. Organize, classify, arrange, categorize, systematize, group. Before conducting the analysis, researchers need to sort out the data collected from different linguistic contexts. The linguist needed time to sort out the language patterns observed in the study. The linguistics department is working to sort out the terminology discrepancies in the field. Fall back on. To rely on a linguistic resource or strategy as a backup. Synonym for. Fall back on. Resort to, rely on, depend on, use as a fallback, turn to, have recourse to. When faced with communication challenges, people often fall back on their native language. When facing communication difficulties, interpreters may fall back on translation strategies to convey meaning accurately. In times of uncertainty, linguists often fall back on established theoretical frameworks to guide their analysis. Break in. To interrupt a linguistic conversation or discourse. Synonym for break in. Interrupt, interject, but in, cut in, intervene, disrupt. It's considered impolite to break in during someone else's linguistic discourse without permission. The moderator had to break in when the debate became too heated. The interruption from the audience member caused a break in the flow of the linguistic presentation. Speak out against. To express opposition or disagreement with linguistic practices. Synonym for speak out against. Oppose, condemn, protest, object to, denounce, criticize. Linguists may speak out against the use of certain derogatory terms. The Language Rights Organization actively speaks out against policies that restrict linguistic diversity. Linguists frequently speak out against linguistic discrimination and bias in educational settings. Bring about. To cause changes or developments in linguistic patterns. Synonym for bring about. Cause, trigger, instigate, initiate, generate, prompt. The linguist's research aims to bring about a better understanding of endangered language revitalization strategies. Technological advancements have brought about significant changes in linguistic communication patterns. Social factors can bring about shifts in linguistic usage over time. Hold on to maintain or preserve linguistic features or traditions. Synonym for hold on to. Retain, preserve, maintain, keep, cling to, uphold. Linguists aim to hold on to indigenous language structures amidst rapid globalization. Language preservationists work diligently to hold on to endangered dialects and linguistic traditions. Some communities strive to hold on to their native languages despite external influences. Put forward. To propose or suggest linguistic theories or hypotheses. Synonym for put forward. Propose, suggest, present, advance, offer, advocate. The researcher put forward a compelling argument for the applicability of cognitive linguistics in language acquisition studies. In the debate, each participant was expected to put forward their proposed solutions to the language policy issue. The linguist put forward a novel explanation for the evolution of certain grammatical structures. Cut across. To encompass or involve linguistic elements from various disciplines. Synonym for cut across. Span, traverse, encompass, involve, cover, extend over. Linguistics often cuts across anthropology, psychology, and sociology. Sociolinguistic studies often cut across multiple disciplines, including anthropology, psychology, and sociology. The linguistics department's interdisciplinary approach cuts across traditional academic boundaries to address complex language-related challenges. Bring out. To highlight or emphasize specific linguistic features. Synonym for bring out. Highlight, emphasize, accentuate, showcase, illuminate, uncover. The linguists aim to bring out the unique phonetic characteristics of a dialect. The documentary aims to bring out the rich cultural heritage embedded in the local dialect. The phonetics professor used spectrograms to bring out the subtle nuances in speech sounds. Look up. To consult linguistic references or resources for information. Synonym 4. Look up. Consult, refer to, search, research, investigate, explore. Researchers often look up scholarly articles to stay updated on the latest developments in their linguistic field. Linguists frequently look up dictionaries and linguistic databases for accurate definitions. Language learners frequently look up unfamiliar words in dictionaries to expand their vocabulary. Draw from. To utilize linguistic examples or principles from diverse sources. Synonym 4. Draw from. Utilize, employ, use, extract, derive, harness. The linguist draws from a wide range of linguistic theories to analyze language change phenomena. Language teachers draw from real-life examples to illustrate grammar concepts to their students. The researcher drew from multiple languages to illustrate the universality of certain linguistic structures. Long for. To have a strong desire or yearning for something. Synonym 4. Long for. Yearn for, crave, desire, pine for, hanker after, covet. She longs for the day when she can travel the world. Many language enthusiasts long for the opportunity to immerse themselves in a foreign culture to enhance their language skills. Linguists often long for a deeper understanding of understudied languages and dialects. Long to. To have a strong desire or aspiration to do something. Synonym 4. Long to. Aspire to, desire to, hope to, wish to, yearn to, dream of. He longs to become a successful musician. Aspiring linguists long to contribute groundbreaking research to the field and make a meaningful impact. Language learners long to achieve fluency and proficiency in their target language. Long out. To extend the duration of something beyond the expected time. Synonym 4. Long out. Extend, prolong, stretch out, continue, drag out, draw out. The seminar unexpectedly longed out due to the presenter's thorough exploration of the topic. The meeting longed out due to unexpected discussions. The linguistic conference longed out into the evening as participants engaged in lively debates and discussions. Long on. To have an excess or surplus of something. Synonym 4. Long on. Abound in, be rich in, have an excess of, be well stocked with, be abundant in, be overflowing with. The linguistics department is long on resources for conducting cutting-edge research in various subfields. The linguist's manuscript is long on empirical evidence, but lacks a coherent theoretical framework. The company is long on resources, but short on manpower. Long over. To continue for an extended period beyond the expected time. Synonym 4. Long over. Extend beyond, continue past, last longer than, outlast, protract, overstay. The movie seemed long over its scheduled duration. The project longed over its deadline due to unforeseen complications. The linguistic debate longed over the allotted time as participants delved into intricate language policy issues. Long around. To spend a lengthy period in a particular place or state. Synonym for. Long around. Linger in, spend time in, dwell in, remain in, hang around, loiter in. After the conference, attendees longed around the venue, engaging in informal discussions about linguistic trends. The linguistics students longed around the library, immersed in their studies and research projects. They longed around the beach, enjoying the sunset. Long after. To persist or remain relevant for a substantial period after an event. Synonym for. Long after. Persist after, endure beyond, survive beyond, last after, continue after, remain after. The linguistic theories proposed by the scholar longed after his lifetime, influencing future generations of researchers. Despite technological advancements, traditional linguistic practices long after their initial inception. The impact of the discovery lingered long after the initial excitement. You can find playlists for various languages in the video description. To practice the vocabulary, you are encouraged to explore our various apps. Links to these are also included in the description. If you found something new or interesting, feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section and provide your valuable feedback. And please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more educational content.